Good morning, everybody. I am Charlotte from PropAcademy, and I am a course advisor here. With me today is Courtney McKenna, who is our National Business Development Manager. She is very well versed in the PPRA education regulations and is here today to share with us her knowledge and expertise on this matter. Can I ask, please, if everyone can use the chat box now to just introduce themselves, let us know where you're from. I'm seeing a lot of familiar names, so thank you all for joining us here today. Welcome, Veets. Welcome, Leanne Watson. Thank you guys so much for joining us, and I hope we can address everyone's queries and get them sorted and knocked out of the park.
Awesome. Thank you, Charlotte. Thanks for the introduction. It'll be nice to see. We've got some people here from Harcourt, some people from Belito. That's awesome. Thanks for joining us, everyone. We really enjoy it when you join us. Got some, Eris Property Group. Thank you. How's it, Guy? Awesome to see everybody here. So I think we're ready to go, Charlotte.
Perfect. Well, today, everyone, I'll be presenting questions to Courtney that we receive at PropAcademy on a daily basis. But before I do that, I thought I'd begin today's session with a staggering fact. The property sector in South Africa is valued at an astonishing 9 trillion rand. This is a huge, eye-opening figure, which gives us a better understanding of the dynamics, complexities, and opportunities that are in this sector. Guys, there are so many opportunities within the property sector. So to start off today's session, Courtney, can you just explain to us briefly the definition of a property practitioner?
Yes, I can. So sometimes I'm going to give you a bit of a mouthful, but because it's a very, very touchy subject, I prefer to read from the PPA. So as per the PPA, it is any person who in the normal course of business sells, lets, rents, markets, auctions, or manages property on behalf of someone else for remuneration. It can either be a natural person or a juristic person.
So who would be falling under this definition of a property practitioner?
It's quite a list, but I am going to go through it because I can see a lot of different agencies here. You know, it's not just residential agents. We've got a very broad spectrum here. So estate agents, auctioneers, bond and bridging finance orientators, okay, homeowners associators that perform property practitioner activities. Then you've got managing agents, property facilitators, business brokers, developers who perform property practitioner activities, including the project managers, development managers, investment sales agents. Okay, you've got timeshare and fractional ownership, and then property advertising platforms, and property practitioners who specialize in collecting and distributing trust monies. And lastly, attorney employees. So now that formality is over, my mouthfuls are done.
Well, that definitely was quite a mouthful. Well, do all of these subsectors, are they each required to have an FFC?
Yes, so because the PPRA is specializing in each of these subsectors, they will require you to have an FFC for each sector that you practice in. Okay, so if you are involved in 2 of these sectors, that means that you're going to have 2 FFCs. Okay, you cannot use your estate agency FFC and then practice as a property developer. Okay, so you will do 2 FFCs, and that goes right through to CPDs, etc. Yes, I hope that answers.
Definitely. Thank you so much. So you have covered now who needs to comply. Can we just cover what they must do in order to comply?
Yes, we can. So we're going to focus on a real estate agent who's registered as a candidate property practitioner. A candidate used to be called an intern agent. Okay. So from candidate to property practitioner, it's quite simple. You're going to submit your logbook online to the PPRA. Okay, you're going to be found competent in your NQF level 4, and then you're going to pass your PDE4. And once you've done that, you are a property practitioner, which is where you want to be in this first step. Okay, when you are a property practitioner, you're then going to comply with CPD. Okay, so the rule of thumb with CPD is the year following the year you receive your PDE results, is when you will be required to comply with CPD. So the year following the year you receive your results. Okay, so then you'll comply with CPD. And then if you want to up your game from your property practitioner and you want to become a principal, or even if you just want to have the NQF5, you can go ahead. You just need to register for the NQF5. And once you've done that, you can either stay a non-principal or you can upgrade your status to principal. The only way you can actually upgrade your status to a principal, okay, firstly, you need your logbook, NQF4, PDE4, and NQF5. A lot of people think that you need your PDE5 as well. We don't need it yet. Okay, to register as a principal, you just need those 4 steps. And then if you go to the PPRA and say, okay, I've got my NQF5 now, that was my last step, can I register as a principal? They are going to ask you to provide company documents to show that you are on the company documents. Okay, so you need to be on the company documents in order to register as a principal. Now, once you have done that, you've got 2 years from your status becoming principal status. You've got 2 years in which to write and pass your PDE5. Okay, so you're only writing your PDE5 once you are a registered principal as it stands. Okay, so I hope that helps.
Definitely. So there are many avenues that one can follow in the property sector.
That's
You
right.
did mention something about the logbook. Is this not going to be phasing out?
Oh, yes. Okay, so people just hear that. They're not hearing the rest of the rules and regulations around it. Okay. So it is going to be phased out, but the main point is who is it phased out for? Okay, who is going to be affected by it? Because it's only this whole rephasing out the logbook. It's not for somebody who, like Courtney McKenna, who currently has an FFC. She has to hand her logbook in online. Okay, they don't want physical submissions. This whole phasing out of the logbook, when it is put in place, it will only be for people who have an FFC issue date after the 1st of July 2024. So if everyone in the room here has their FFC issued already, that means you need to follow the normal regulations, which is logbook, NQF4, PDE4, and if you're a principal, NQF5 and PDE5. But if you have hired an agent under you and they're starting on the 1st of August, then when they get their FFC, the PPRA will release confirmation of the changes of the logbook going forward.
Thank you for clarifying that for us.
Yeah.
Then with regards to the NQF4, there is a current NQF4 course, and then there is a replacement of this qualification. Now, many questions are being asked that what happens if a learner who is currently busy with the NQF4 SAQA ID 59097 and the new qualification kicks in on the 1st of July, will they now need to restart their NQF4?
No. Okay, so think of it like an upgraded NQF4. So a lot of people that enjoy the NQF4, but it's not for everyone, okay, the current one. So think of it as like an upgraded NQF4 that you are going to be registering for. So if you need to do the NQF4 now and you register for it, that's good. If you don't finish it right now, but you finish it after new regulations come out, it will still hold with the PPRA that you'll have a green tick by your NQF level 4. Okay, so the current NQF4, the SAQA ID is 59097. So if you can write that down, so anyone in your office who's going to register for the NQF4, that is the course they are going to register for now. Okay, the upgraded replacement qualification is Occupational Certificate 118714. Okay, it's basically an updated NQF4. Luckily, PropAcademy is already accredited for it. Just holding off because Service SSETA still need to finalize the EIA. Okay, EISA, sorry. So for this qualification. So until that is finalized by the governing bodies, we are not able to register our learners on the platform. Okay, and it's very important to understand that learners enrolled for the current course have until the 30th of June 2027 in order to complete. Okay, So if you register for your NQF4 today and you go, oh, but there's a replacement coming, you don't, it doesn't have to be done by the 1st of July. You've got time to get it done depending on the provider you go through in order to work with it. Okay, so very, very basically, I've given a lot of information now because there are a lot of in-depth questions on this, but very basically, you have an NQF level 4 and its upgrade is right over here. Once the upgrade is released to the public, you can't register for this course anymore, the old NQF4. So you won't be able to start it once this one's come out, but you can finish if you started before the replacement comes out. So I hope that makes sense.
Definitely. Thank you, Courtney. So we have covered a lot on the process of becoming a property practitioner. For those who want to further their education and proceed with the NQF5, how would they start this journey and where would it take them?
Okay, so it's so nice to see in the industry so many people wanting to uplift themselves. I know it has a hell of a lot to do with money because the more qualified you are, the more money you're going to make. Okay, and you have the opportunity to have your own business or be a part of the business more formally, like upgrading yourself in the current business as a director or shareholder. So you can start your NQF5 as soon as you have your NQF4. Okay, so once you've completed all of those steps, your logbook, so to start the NQF5, all you need is your NQF4. That's a prerequisite. Okay, so that's clear. But if you're wanting to go to principal, you obviously have to have all those steps in line. Okay, so you can either, once you've done your NQF5, you can just stay as a non-principal, or you can register as a principal, how I explained earlier.
Lovely, thank you. And then, sorry, just to jump back on the NQF4, there are 3 ways in which the NQF4 can be done. Can you explain this a little bit more, please?
I can, but I feel like you would be really awesome at explaining this to everybody.
Okay, so there are 3 ways in which the NQF4 can be done. We have the NQF4, which is the 6-month course for any newbies entering into the industry. So if you do not yet have an FFC or you've had an FFC for less than 12 months, you are going to be looking at the NQF4 6-month course. Then we have the option of the RPL. The RPL is your recognition of prior learning. This is for anybody who has been in the real estate industry and has held a Fidelity Fund certificate for longer than 12 months and have not got their NQF4 qualification. If you are in the industry and your FFC has been issued for longer than 12 months and you are needing your NQF4, you are going to be doing the RPL4 course and you can get it done much, much sooner. Lastly, we have the process of exemption. So if you have an NQF level 6 or higher that you studied at a South African institution for a minimum of 3 years, you stand a chance to be exempted from the NQF level 4 course, meaning you would still need to get your Fidelity Fund certificates, still do your logbook and PDE. You would just be exempted from doing the NQF4 qualification. I hope that makes sense to everybody.
It's very important to take note of, because a lot of people who have an NQF level 8, for example, do seem to think that they'll be exempted from the whole process, and that's not the case. You still have to do your logbook and your PDE before you can become a property practitioner. So I can see Valashan is putting some links in the chat box there for us. So please go have a look at those links. Before you purchase courses through PropAcademy, we always give you a nice little quiz so that you know you're buying the right course. So if you feel like, oh, Charlotte just mentioned an exemption, NQF level 6 or higher, then you can actually go click on the link and see if you would qualify for an exemption. So just have a squiz at those links. Okay. So I think now we're going to move on to the PDE4. I know a lot of our learners in here have their NQF4, so this is actually quite a great topic to be discussing. We're going to discuss the new way that the PPRA have executed the exam as well. So yeah, let's get excited about that. And there we go. Yeah, let's get going.
Lovely, lovely. So Courtney, the next PDE exam is coming up on the 16th of May and registration is now open. Can you explain our awesome courses to the audience?
Yes, I can. So PropAcademy is designed, the whole point, the whole way we formed PropAcademy is that wherever you are at whatever time, you're not going to be held back from studying, because we didn't enjoy being restricted to classrooms and dates and times. We wanted to be on the road making money and study when we had a break. So you can study with us at any time. Okay, you just log into your course and then you can continue. Now with the PDEs, what we've done is every time there is an exam that's written, we update the questions into the paper that we write. You know, people come to us and say that exam was really difficult, it really focused on, etc. And then we'll take more information and beef up our material. So it's always very important to make sure when you do buy our material, you're buying for the exam ahead of you. Okay, don't buy too far ahead. So you're looking at about 2 months before your exam, but the course is a 6-week course, both the PDE4 and the PDE5. The 6 weeks does not mean it's going to take you 6 weeks to do the course. Okay, it means it is valid on your profile for 6 weeks. Okay, course usually gets done in about 2 weeks. So we know it's coming up on the 16th of May. We've got crash courses for PDE4 and PDE5. It's 100% online, which also is suitable for the new format of the exam. And like I explained, you literally go on our website, register, pay, and as soon as your payment reflects, you get started.
Okay. You mentioned the new format. We see that it's going to be a take-home exam. Should we discuss what the learner's experience was with the take-home exam?
Yes, let's do that. It was a little bit of quite a lot of mixed signals, because you get told that your exam is going to be from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. and you don't really, well, I don't think anyone expected to be writing that entire time. And they were. Okay, so the marks were elevated. So it was a bit of a shock to the system. You've got a longer time period to get it done, but the marks required, took you the full day to try and get everything sorted. So there were a lot of sweaty palms by 4 o'clock on the day.
I can definitely imagine. There's just another thing I would like that came up with the PDEs is the PPRA noticed that people who don't qualify for the PDEs were registering for these exams and submitting their exam to the PPRA, expecting them to be marked. Guys, the PPRA has emphasized that if you do not qualify for the PDE, they will not mark it. So in order to qualify for your PDE4, you need to have competency in your logbook and your NQF4. And in order to write the PDE5 exam, you have to be registered as a principal agent. There is no way around it. The PPRA will not mark your work and you will just be wasting your money.
You will, and they're not going to mark you just because you paid, because a lot of people are saying, yes, I know I don't qualify. I still want you to mark to see how well I did. It's not a practice exam, okay? So please, I know that the paper is available to everyone because they put it online for you to download and they email it to you. So you must make sure that your PPRA portal is up to date. But it's not for everyone. It's only if you registered and you were confirmed that you had a seat number, then you can go ahead and write this exam. Okay. So also when you are registering, like since forever, it has, we went on to an online exam first. There were a lot of people who trialed out that, and then there was a lot of problems with the different demographics having that much data in order to write an exam, load shedding, staying online. So the nice thing about the PPRA is that they didn't just stick it out. They said this isn't working for our audience. Let's see how we can make it work better. Okay, so the take-home exam is a very good practice. I'm really happy that they have done it, but you still need to register. Registration's open. Hey, Charlotte.
Yes, registration is open for the 16th of May and it will close on the 30th of this month.
Okay, so when you do register on the PPRA portal, they're going to ask you to make payment. And when you make payment, please don't go sending your proof of payments to the PPRA. They're not going to look at it. When the money hits the bank, they're going to allocate it to your seat number, and they'll allocate it to your PPRA portal and release a seat number for you. Yes, there's no seat number on your kitchen counter seat or your dining room seat. You just need to, it's like allocating you a spot. Okay, so their portal can't be updated every time they are going through all of these changes. They want to find something suitable that works for all demographics, and once they've settled into that, I'm sure that they'll make the necessary changes. So when you choose a venue, for example, you must totally disregard it because, you know, you're going to be doing it from your house or your office.
Wonderful. Then just to jump back to those 12 subsectors that we mentioned in the beginning of today's presentation, the PPRA are currently implementing the exams for all the real estate subsectors. So if you are writing the PDE right now, you do not need to worry. For all of those who write the PDE now and are going to register with a different subsector, you will not be required to rewrite your PDE exam. The PPRA has said that they will acknowledge that you've already done your PDE, so you won't need to further do a second PDE for the subsector you join with now. I hope that makes sense to everyone.
Yes, that's perfect. So now we're going to go through to the Q&A because there's some interesting questions here and we're going to just take one at a time and see how we can get through them. Okay, so I'm going to start with Bev. You've asked here, what is the requirement for the RPL 5? So Charlotte, do you want to give us a requirement here?
So a requirement for the RPL 5 is you have to be registered as a principal already. You will not be able to do the RPL 5 if you're not registered as a principal and you're not on the company documents.
Okay, excellent. So actually being on the company documents isn't in the PPA, but it is in the ruling within the PPRA. Okay, so it's a ruling that they've made in-house. Okay, so we're looking for a date here that we need to repeat, which I'm going to get for you now. Just give me a second. So we say here that, there we go. Let's just have a look here. Bev says, just say the cutoff date for the current NQF4, please. What date in 2027? So what we're saying here is it's crucial to understand that the learners enrolled for the current NQF4. So in order to enroll for the current NQF4, it must be before the 1st of July, 2024. So if you've enrolled, the cutoff for that qualification is the 30th of June, 2027. Okay, so that means you have until that time to submit your work and get marked. You'll still get your certification, but it always just depends which provider you go through because you can't be taking that long to get your qualification done because you wouldn't be compliant with the PPRA rules. So I hope that has made sense. Charlotte, I don't know if you want to pick a question.
No, perfect. Estelle is asking, is there also, sorry, I think I did see this in the chat as well. Is there a replacement for the NQF5 as well, or just the NQF4 at the moment?
You can answer it as well.
So that it's just the NQF4. We don't have any talk of an NQF5 replacement at the moment.
Okay, so the NQF5 replacement has been developed by some developers. Luckily, our director was a huge part of that. We are just waiting to get all the information, to put it together, develop the course, and then we go through the same process that we're now going through with the NQF4. Okay. So Diane says here, I'm a principal property practitioner as a sole prop dealing with managing property as well as selling property. Do I have to register for a managing agent FFC as well? And the answer is yes. Okay, you do. So you've currently got an FFC, okay, that you're selling under. Now what you'll do, Diane, is you'll do a manual, it's called a manual registration, and you will register your company, your managing agency, through a manual application through the PPRA for its own FFC, and then you will register agents under. So it used to be that if you're a principal, you can be a principal of many companies or agencies, but you can only be a candidate or a property practitioner, non-principal, under one agency. Now, with all of the different subsectors, that is no longer possible. Okay, so you then have to say, okay, Diane's got an agency, she's got an agency FFC, and she's got her candidates, etc. underneath. And then she's got a managing agency, so now she needs another company FFC, and she has to have the agents registered under the managing agency as well, if they're doing the same job. Okay, so if your sales agents are just selling, you keep them that side and keep your managing agents the other side. Okay, She also says here, I've been exempted from NQ4, PDE4, PDE5 completed, RPL5. Okay, and you're a principal from 2004. Okay, you completed a property management course with PropAcademy. And I was, as I do not have an NQ4, it is not recognized. Okay, I see what you're saying. Okay, so you've completed a course with us, but we haven't issued you with credits because you don't qualify, because you don't have your NQ4, because you're exempted from it. Okay, so that is correct. So if you had your NQF level 4, then we would be able to issue you with credits that you could use, but there will be more things that we can do for you. Okay, so we're also going to post our details in the chat box. And Diane, I really hope that you reach out to us, or even if you send your number here, we'll have access to the history, and then we can give you a call and see how we can set you up with some credits somewhere. Okay. Okay, then we have a question here, and it says, I'm struggling to submit my RPL online so that it can be assessed. Please, can you help? So I think there's already a comment here. Perfect. Charlotte's already reached out to you. So you can just reach out to us, and we'll actually meet you online and assist you with the process. Okay. And then we've covered that. Let's have a look here. I think, Charlotte, is that all of the questions that we have for today?
There's not too many. I did see one question regarding a POP, but I'm not too sure. It says, in the situation where my employer is my sponsor to pay the fees, please advise on POP. I think, Spoo, if I could just give you my email address, maybe you can pop me a mail and I can chat with you further.
Okay, and then I see Hugh Basil also wants some assistance. So if my team is definitely online, please can we make sure we also reach out to Hugh Basil, just with regards to his NQF level 5 that he is completing. And then, hi, I think I missed this, the RPL, do I need a logbook? Yes. So I'm not too sure I understand the question correctly. The RPL will be separate from the logbook. So for RPL, you need to be experienced. It's recognition of prior learning. Okay, so if you have had an FFC for longer than 12 months, been extremely active in everything that you do in real estate, then you can click on the link that Vilashan put in the chat box, see if you qualify for RPL. And then if you're confused, if you're still confused as to what is needed, okay, that is what our team is for. Okay, you need to just reach out to us or send us your details here. We'll phone you straight after this meeting. And then what we're going to do is we often ask you for a copy of your ID and a copy of your FFC. If you have the old FFC, we do prefer it. If not, we'll find what we need. And then we'll say to you, yes, you were right. All you need to do is your RPL4. Okay, so reach out to us, and PD4 then in that case, but reach out to us so that we can help you, okay? Because everyone's profile is different. So as simple as it is, logbook, NQ4, PDE4, that's where you need to be if you don't own an agency. If you own an agency, NQ5, and then once you do PDE5. So as simple as that process is, people have a history, and the rules have changed so much. So 2008, 2013, 2019. So you probably feel like you're on one of those spinning roller coasters, okay? Because she says this and he says that, and PPRA said this. So that is what we're here for. So we'll take your actual take your information, access your actual profile, and then we'll be able to tell you exactly what is needed. Okay. So I don't think I answered that question, but I think I need to know more from you, please. Okay. So just clarify the logbook. Okay. Okay. So with regards to the logbook, what we were trying to say is, if you currently have an FFC, or if you've ordered your FFC and it is issued on or before the 30th of June this year, then you have to comply with the exact process I just said, logbook, NQ4, PDE4. If in August or July you apply for your FFC and it comes after the 1st of July 2024, then you will go with the new logbook rules. Okay, the PPRA will release new logbook rules. Okay, and when those rules are released, you can go for them. But if you've had an FFC prior to that date, You can't go with the new rules. You have to go with what's already been expected of you. Okay. So I hope that helps there, Bev. Thanks for asking these questions. Okay. So Charlotte, do you see any questions here for me?
Courtney, I'm seeing a couple ones coming through regarding CPD.
CPD. Okay, CPD, so exciting. So let's just hit a little bit on CPD without, and then hopefully we indirectly answer some of these CPD questions. Okay, Charlotte. So let's have a chit chat about the latest rules. Okay. So one thing to clarify before we start, and it's just going to be a couple minutes on CPD, and you're welcome to reach out to us, Guy. I can see you have a question with regards to specific profile problems. Okay, so what I'm trying to say is they can say to you, must make sure your 2024 PDP has been chosen, but maybe your portal's not linking up to that, so you're unable to do it. Okay, so what we're going to say here is, I mean, all payments up to and including 2023 must be current. Okay, they must be paid. And then your CPD points outstanding from before 2023 are no longer required. Okay. So we were on an old system of non-verifiable and verifiable. If you had 2023, you had 5 in personal developments and you still needed to submit them, you do not need to submit them. Okay, so it's no longer required. And then your PDP plan for 2024 must be completed. So if you go into your PDP and you actually can't complete your PDP for 2024 because maybe something's outstanding from, like a payment is outstanding for 2023 or 2024, then it won't let you go in. Okay. So those you have to work through to get to the point of submitting your PDP for 2024. Okay. And then we've got, sorry, just hold on a second for me. Okay, so then we've got CPD points that we've just discussed. Going forward, there's going to be 4 modules, okay? But I don't like to discuss what's going to happen going forward because it hasn't been released by the PPRA in final black and white, okay? All they've said is that it is going to change to be 4 modules that can be trained by a training provider, or you can do it directly through the PPRA. Okay, training for you. So whatever's going to be easier for you. Obviously, if you come through us and you do your points, we will then take your points and get them updated at the PPRA for you. So it will help a lot. Okay, so is there anything you want to discuss there on CPD, Charlotte?
There wasn't another point on CPD that I wanted to discuss. Sorry, I just scrolled a bit further down and I missed a question from Iselle Saunders.
Yes.
She's asking what sort of proof is required to show that we are managing an agency?
Okay, is that for RPL 5? Yes, I think so.
I believe so. It doesn't.
Okay, let's have a squiz over here. All right, if you're not a registered principal, okay. So RPL 5 at the moment, you have to be a registered principal, okay. If you're not a registered principal, we used to get information from you, build up a case to show that you've been working alongside the principal and that you've done it for years. You maybe just didn't have time to get qualified and now you want to do RPL 5. If I accept your RPL 5 application now, you'll complete the course, you'll spend the money, you'll go all the way through to the end, and then Service SSETA will say, sorry, we're not going to put you on RPL 5. You need to be a registered principal. So proof that you're managing an agency would come from any sort of meetings that you have and any sort of proof that you have. You can literally just take a list down of what you do on a daily basis and you can emphasize on that. Okay. They don't ask for specific proofs. And also what happens is if you do have proof, we build a portfolio for you and we submit it. If there's something more that the assessor wants, he simply asks you for it and you supply it. Okay. But if you are honestly running it, then you'll be able to find whatever is needed. The logbook is a massive file. How do you upload it online? Thank you, Johan. It is a massive file. That's why the PPRA don't have any space left. I mean, I spoke to them like 5 years ago when we developed our logbook course to be online, and they just said there's literally no more space to keep these files. So it is a massive file. What we do is we teach our learners to upload it on WeTransfer. Okay, so you would need to scan it and you would need to upload it on WeTransfer, and then you send them a link. And don't just send them a link, please. The more specific and to the point you are, the better it is. Okay, so Johan would say you would pay someone to go scan his whole file. You'd put it onto WeTransfer, and you can say issue a link. And it'll issue a link, and then you'll email it to the Logbooks email address, and Johan will say, hi, my name is Johan, this is my surname, this is my ID number, this is my FFC number, and then please click here to download my logbook. And then you'll pop it off to the PPRA, and then they should find you competent, and within 2 days to 2 weeks, our learners are getting marked. And if that's not the case, then your mail's gone missing. So then you need to chat to us, okay? Okay, so I think that's us for today, Charlotte. If there's any questions that we haven't addressed, because I see now there are some nice questions coming through, these questions are all going to be saved and we can see who posted them. So we're going to spend the rest of the day contacting you and going through these questions and answers with you. Okay, there's also a recording for this webinar. So we're going to put it up on our podcast page in 2 weeks' time. Okay, so that you can go through, have a look. And yeah, we really hope that we were of some value to you. If you have any suggestions or compliments or suggestions for us, please let us know. If we can just put my contact details in the chat box for everybody, you can let us know directly what you would like us to focus on next time, okay, and how we can improve our services. And even if it's not to do with the compliance side of things, and you actually want to have a webinar because you're confused about something and it's a very popular question or topic, we'll host it for you. So please send your ideas to us so that we can keep you entertained. Okay. Thank you to Charlotte for hosting today's session, and to everybody who's joined us. It really means a lot that you've all joined us. Have a lovely day going forward. And Guy, we will be in touch with you and anybody else who needs us. All right. Thanks, everybody. Bye.
Bye, everyone.